Hello? Anybody home? Brendan? Salim? We're here to do the AGPN podcast crossover thing. Looks like no one's home. Let's just go and turn on the mics and start the show.
Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing. Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 148th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. I'm your humble host, Drew Agnew, who can be found at iDrewby. And joining me today is my best friend, king of the chicken schnitzel, and co-host of the House of Mario podcast. It's Bryce DeWitt, who can be found at IVRevan. How we going?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good.
Good to be on this podcast.
Yeah, so we're
This is not actually my voice.
Oh, God, I hope not. Is that actually your voice? Speak in your normal voice, please, Bryce.
Hello, it is I, Bryce DeWitt.
Hello, Bryce. It is me, Drew. Everyone out there, thank you for tuning into this episode. We are not your usual hosts, Brendan, Salim, or Ali. I'm Drew. This is Bryce, and we're from the Nintendo podcast, The House of Mario, also on the 8-Bit Collective.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Bryce, so just to introduce ourselves a bit, what is The House of Mario, and what do we talk about on there usually?
Well,
What do we talk about on there?
I think it sort of comes with the name, don't you think?
We
Like,
talk about
the House
houses.
of Mario and a Nintendo podcast. Okay.
We talk about houses and
Mario.
and Mario's relationship with that house and how we might interact with the bathroom and
I mean, look at our logo. It is literally a house made of Mario items.
how are they going to look at logo? This is audio.
Well, that's the thing. You'll have to Google it and go on our Twitter.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Fair
But
enough.
in all seriousness, we are hosts of a Nintendo podcast called The House of Mario, where we talk about anything Nintendo week by week, whether it be evergreen episodes or latest news or what we're doing, or just generally being stupid. That's something we like to do.
Yeah, we're good at that.
We're really good at that.
Don't know about the other things, but we're good at being stupid.
Yes.
So yeah, just to. I think a bit of a fun game to play, sort of introduce ourselves to sort of get this audience to sort of know who we are. I'm going to do a few icebreaker questions, which I'm getting off of museumhack.com.
You really, really like getting random questions off websites.
It's funny because why not? Why think of your own questions when you can Google them? You know what I mean?
Okay, well, fire away, maestro.
So Bryce, what would be the title of your autobiography? So if someone's to write an autobiography about you, or you write one yourself because you don't have the money to pay someone else to write about you, what would the title be?
How to spend too much time playing video games.
The Bryce DeWitt story.
The Rice DeWitt story. There you go.
There you go.
The Bryce DeWitt story.
That's wonderful. What is your favourite magical or mythological animal?
Oh God, I would actually probably say a griffin.
A griffin.
I like griffins. They're cool.
Yeah.
Cool concept, you know. Eagle horse.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
They are cool.
They are really cool.
Like, pretty scary riding one. Like, they can fly, yeah?
Damn cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. Maybe a good saddle and a good pair of pants so you don't chafe, and I'll be all about it. But
yeah, but otherwise, just think Buckbeak from Harry Potter, and there you go.
Yeah,
you know, running something like that would be awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which one would you keep? Which ones would you keep? Sorry.
Probably Twitter for social media, or actually, it'd be either Twitter or Reddit. I'm gonna say Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I would keep Twitter. I would keep Dragalia Lost for entertainment.
Yep.
And probably YouTube. Those are the 3 apps that I use most.
I'll definitely keep Twitter.
Yep.
I'll definitely keep YouTube.
Yep.
And the last one would probably be my banking app, because I really need that.
Well, there you go. I feel like I can do that physically, so that's why I'm not choosing my banking app. I could just go to an ATM.
Like, I can go to
inconvenient, but yeah,
very convenient. You've got to go to an ATM where you can just roll over in your bed and
move
those
money today.
I feel like this million can go into that bank account today, earn a bit more interest for me.
Million.
So these I haven't even read these questions. I'm just like literally picking something. And who is the best businessman or businesswoman and why? Example: Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber. So I'm gonna go with that example: Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber. Who's the best businessman?
Oh,
What a question.
I don't know. Probably Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a really weird question, dude.
That is. I didn't realise I had to do any work when actually
Oh,
finding that question.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you one more question before spinning this laptop around, and you ask me some questions from this page.
Okay.
Who is your favourite Disney hero or heroine? Would you trade places with them?
Disney hero or heroine? Either Mulan or Baymax.
Why? And would you trade places with them?
Mulan, probably not. No, would not trade places with Mulan. I feel like she's got the whole world on her shoulder. And obviously she's, an actual figure that's in, ancient Chinese history. And I feel like I'm not a big Mulan expert, but I feel like she probably didn't meet a great end. So,
yeah, well, no.
No. I would not trade places with Mulan. However, Baymax, as somebody who's very carefree and a robot and just likes to be a robot, probably wouldn't be a bad time. I feel like being virtually indestructible would be nice too. So
Yeah, well, it has its perks, I would imagine, yeah.
sure, why not?
So, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip this laptop around.
Oh, look, we've got this iMac. It's
It's not an iMac, it's a MacBook Pro. Thank you, Bryce. Get your Apple terminology right, thank you.
I would, but iMac is just an easy way to,
That's fair enough. I'm not against that.
Okay, so first one, really easy off the bat. What is your dream job?
My dream job. So, honestly, it probably would be making content, doing podcasts, just having like full creative control, like the time. Like obviously we're podcasting now, and we can do that. We have the equipment, we have the means. It's just I would love the time to just like wake up in the morning and go, all right.
Feeling like P Diddy. Sorry.
Wake up in the morning and be like, all right, I'm doing this today. Gonna like just make something that people enjoy. Yeah, that's what I love to do.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. What fictional family would you be a member of?
For some reason, the first one that came to mind was The Simpsons.
Well, yeah, that's because you're a big Simpsons advocate back in
Big
your
Simpsons
day.
fan. But do I want to be a part of the Simpsons family? No, not really.
Not really.
Another one that comes to mind is like the families from Rugrats.
Oh, Jesus.
Wouldn't mind being a part of Tommy's family.
The Pickles.
The Pickles. So you got Stewie. What's the mum's name again?
Debbie.
Is it Debbie? Yeah, probably is Debbie. Yeah, well, they seem like nice people, hardworking people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tommy would be a cool brother.
They go to Paris one time.
Yeah. Have you seen Rugrats Grown Up? Have you seen that
Oh,
series?
yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, so, Tommy turns out to be a nice bloke in high school, so...
What a champ.
I assume he doesn't become a drug dealer later in life.
Still doesn't lose his baby face.
He doesn't, does he?
No.
Just this huge bloody Chucky with his big head too.
Jesus God. Okay, last one. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, Christ. Probably... Give me the hard-hitting questions, Bryce. Talking about Rugrats.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like the ones you gave me were more like, what would I like to envision me being in my head? Whereas these ones are more like, tell me about yourself, Drew.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, Drew? Could be anything from don't shit on the carpet to...
Oh, that was a good one. I really need to be told that one once or twice. This is a pretty basic one, but just basically don't worry about what others are thinking.
Yeah,
I remember like back in high school where, especially the transition from year 7 to year 8.
Yep.
Like I've always been a huge Pokemon fan, but like that transition where you're like, all right, I need to grow up. I need to stop doing these things that make me look childish. Especially when you think back to year 8, where you're like, what are you, 12, turning 13? Like you're still a baby. Like, don't worry about it.
Yep.
But I remember picking up Pokemon Diamond and Pearl back in 2007, and I had it in my hand, ready to go to the cash register to go and buy it, and someone from school who was like a quote unquote more cool kid came. He's like, oh shit. So I hid it behind like some books or whatever, and like I was talking to him, whatever. He left, got the game out, went and bought it.
Yeah.
And like, if I could tell my
Younger self,
like, don't even worry about it. Like, there are so many. When you grow up, like, you've got so many things to worry about, whether it's your family, money, this or that. You know, whether you still play Pokemon, whether you still enjoy these things, what might be looked a bit childish on. And obviously, we don't care now because we run a Nintendo podcast. we couldn't give a shit.
No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No, I've always held that with me, no matter what's happened.
And I feel like I learned that pretty early on because I think it was like a couple of years.
I didn't.
Didn't you?
No.
I felt like a couple of years after that, like everyone was like, "Do you remember Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And everyone's like, "It's kind of like cool again." Well, not cool, but
yeah,
it's acceptable. Like,
I just remember in the later years of high school, people were playing Diamond Pearl Platinum on their emulators when I was in year 12.
Yeah.
So
I remember there was
people that never really even.
There was a guy at school, and he's always wearing like, you know, the trendy stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And he came up to me asking me questions about Pokemon, and I thought he was just being patronising and paying me out,
Taking the piss. Yeah.
I'm like, so at first I was like, yeah, this, that, whatever he was asking me, like, what's your favourite starter? I'm like, oh, you know, the grass one,
yeah.
you know. But then he's like, after a while, I'm like, he actually plays it, and he brought his DS to school, and he's like talking to me about it. I'm like, oh, he actually like really likes Pokemon.
Yeah. Generally wants your advice.
He actually wanted my advice on like what started to choose and all that through Diamond and Pearl. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting, and it's now what are we, mid-20s? We couldn't give a crap what people think. Yeah.
Glad I don't give a shit now.
Yeah. So Bryce, we broke the ice a little bit. Now, what have you been playing lately? What have you been playing? Like, normally we just talk about what we've been playing on Switch because we're a Nintendo focused podcast. Yep. But now you can blow. I was going to say blow your load. Don't blow your load just yet, Bryce. We haven't finished the show yet. But
yeah, it's a finale.
Let's just. You got that to listen. You got that to look forward to, everybody.
Yeah.
But what have you been playing?
So apart from my typical Nintendo stuff this week, I suppose it's, you know, Smash Bros or whatever. But also I round table consistently throughout the week between Apex, League, Final Fantasy 14, whatever I'm playing on Switch at the time.
You're back into League, are you?
Sort of. Like, I still don't think I don't think the game is in the state that it used to be in, but
and was that balancing or just like your friends aren't playing it? Or?
Balancing and weirdness. I think like the thing with MOBAs as well is I do like the concept of MOBAs. They just have the worst communities in the world. Like they're really they're really competitive, over competitive, toxic. They are like that's just what they are. You could be playing shooters and still not get people as toxic as that, which is really strange to see.
At least with something like even Call of Duty, or even to some extent Fortnite, where like you don't have to talk to people.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's preferred if you're playing team-based stuff like Fortnite, but
yeah,
when you're playing League of Legends, it's like you've really got to be talking and strategizing with people. Not that I know, because I've never gotten.
You've never really gotten into.
I've never gotten into it. I made an account. I play. Oh, I didn't really play. I sat at the computer in control of a character with you guys, but it's just something where I like it didn't appeal to me at all. But yeah. But you've been back into it sort of recently,
sort of.
You dabbled in it, or
I think the thing that takes up most of my time is the random matches of Apex I'm playing, and then I'm trying to build up my Final Fantasy 14 stuff in preparation for the expansion in like 2 months' time. So yeah, a bit of grinding and then, you know, a bit of competitive gameplay and just overall chilling. I've got all 3 consoles in my house, but only typically use the Switch and then my PC. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of what I come down to. PC is like 80% of my time.
Yeah, that's your main platform, which you like playing everything on. And
absolutely, yeah. I didn't build a rig that was worth over $2,000 for nothing. You know.
Oh, well, hopefully not.
I prefer to play my games there. It's just easier. So yeah.
I've been playing just like a bit of DMC5. I haven't finished it. I know you finished it, or you finished it before I even got to pick it up.
Yep.
But from what I've played so far, I really enjoy it. I love, like,
great.
I'm quite new to DMC. I got into DMC with the last game made by Ninja Theory, which a lot of people are not too hot on, especially if you're a big fan. But I loved the sort of artistic direction of that game. Yeah, and that's what really drew me in with like the heavy metal music and the art style and everything. The
stylistic level design too was really good.
And this game seems to take a little bit of that. Obviously, it's a DMC 5.
Yeah,
so
it's a continuation.
But still loved like the look of it and everything, and I'm enjoying what I've played so far.
Good.
Yeah. What about like you've played all the DMC games? You've familiar with the story and everything. What do you think of that game?
It's really good. I have a general consensus this year, and that's that there's a couple of sequels coming out to games, and the most important one for me was Kingdom Hearts 3, which actually really disappointed me. But DMC 5 was obviously another sequel that people have been waiting for years for, and in my opinion, that worked out really well. I thought it was a really good game. The only issue I had with it really is that it is quite short. But to be honest, short doesn't necessarily mean it was bad either.
Yeah.
Like, it was a game I could skirt through. I got through in like 3 days. Maybe less.
It's not such a bad thing either, because it's like a hack and slash arcade game. It's good to go back and get try and get the SS, like the scores and everything. Yeah. So I think it's pretty good. If it was like a 20-hour campaign, and you've got to like, if your goal is to be like, all right, I'm going to triple S all these stages, it's going to be almost a nightmare.
Yeah. You know, you got to sort of take your time.
I was having a look at the before I got it. I'm like, oh, is this going to be a game I'm going to be like, going to even like attempt to try and get the platinum trophy on PS4? The answer is no. Definitely not. It's one of the hardest trophies on the platform.
Is it?
It's very hard. You've got to like, 100% like get all the rankings and everything. You've got to play through the game on every difficulty level. It doesn't stack, so if you play it on the hardest one, it's not going to stack for the easiest one, so you got to play it through multiple times. I think it's a estimated time about 70 hours.
Okay. That's not too bad.
But it'll be more like 200 for someone like me who's like, all right, I'm going to learn this game as I'm going.
Yeah, someone that doesn't really sit down and have the time to dedicate like 5 hours in one sitting. Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, but regardless, great game.
It is interesting that like that trophy list makes it something. It might make it something more akin to like Sekiro, where it's like something you've got to like, where you've got to like sit down and really learn it. Yeah,
I feel you on that one.
So, yeah, I do like that it does that for people, but I know I won't have the time to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, another game on the Nintendo side I've been playing. Well, actually not a lot. Just through this time of year is pretty busy for work for me. But when I sit down, I just want something chill to play. It's been Yoshi's Crafted World. Yep, really enjoy playing that. Just I enjoy it more than I do Woolly World. Just in the fact, like Woolly World was a traditional Yoshi game, left to right. Collect all the things. Whereas I feel like sort of the 3D elements in this sort of open up the levels a lot more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you get to you can get to sections where it becomes like you can do multiple paths, and it comes look more like obviously like an on rails 3D game. Yep. Where you look like you're really looking for like all the collectibles and everything. Even in the backgrounds, there might be like something to hit with your eggs, which you can throw and all that.
I feel like the thing it sort of attributes to me most is that it looks like Yoshi's Story. Yeah. Yoshi's Story is probably my favorite Yoshi game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I reckon. Like, the more I think about it, it's just like I love Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island's like one of my favorite 2D platformers of all time. But Yoshi's Story had like real hidden elements in it. It was a really neat sort of game. So yeah, and I guess looking at it like that, I'm just like, cool. That's what Crafted World looks like. Yeah.
And you haven't picked it up just yet, have you?
No. Yeah. I've been meaning to. I just haven't really got around to it. I opted to buy a new controller yesterday instead of picking it up. So.
On Switch or?
Yeah, Switch.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
I got a PowerA wireless GameCube.
Oh, well tell us a bit about that. Yeah, I haven't heard about this. Tell us about, because I've been thinking about getting one too, because I love the GameCube controller.
They're not bad. They've got like all the buttons you could possibly need. Yep. So like it's literally pro controller status in that regard. The only issue with it is that it's AA battery operated.
Yeah. So that's what turns me off a little bit.
But that's not a bad thing all the time either.
No, not all the time. Because obviously, if like, all right, I gotta power up because I'm so into my video game right now. You can just chuck in some batteries and you're good. Yep. Especially, like with the PlayStation controllers, they're dying all the time. But I've got multiple on docks, so I can rotate them. Yeah. Whereas you're not going to buy multiple of these GameCube wireless controllers. No, probably. Yeah. But how does the actual feel and everything like?
Well, it feels just like a GameCube controller. Yeah. Like it's actually crazy how much they've sort of
Yeah, everything
working
down,
around.
everything down to the the triggers and everything.
Yeah, they still feel the same. They're digital though.
Yeah,
They're not analog. They're digital, but they do feel the same still.
which makes sense because the Switch doesn't support it anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. What about the D-pad? I was wondering if the D-pad on those things would feel.
They're
good.
bigger.
Yeah.
They're bigger D-pads, so they actually do feel a little bit better.
Would you feel good about playing like a 2D game?
I probably wouldn't go that far on it.
Not
But
too
the
far,
thing is with 2D indie games nowadays as well is that hexagonal kind of works anyway.
Yeah.
Which is what the controller stick is. No, the control stick. Jesus.
The controller stick.
The controller stick. It's hexagonal based, so it kind of works in its own favor anyway. If you tip the control stick in a direction, it's going to attach itself to a corner of the hexagon. It sort of works. So playing, a lot of people praise this controller because it's been a godsend for games like Celeste.
Yeah.
Where you really need like proper angle positioning. So there you go. I haven't played any indies yet, but I'll get around to it. I'll try Celeste with it. I'm sure it'd be good with Celeste.
All right. I'm keen to go over to your place and give this thing a hold because I've been wanting like a wireless GameCube controller for like modern systems for ages.
Yeah.
And like you can go back and get the Wavebird and make it
compatible somehow.
Get it compatible, but that's got no rumble and
Yep.
also takes AAA batteries and there's no this is like the first actual really good solution for it.
Yeah.
And it's not an official one. It's good to hear that it's up to your standards because
Yeah,
I know you love your GameCube controller and use it a lot for Smash Bros and all that. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's definitely a good piece of hardware, so happy about that.
Yeah. All right. Nothing else you've been playing or want to go over?
Nah, not really. Yeah. Sort
Alright.
of just the average.
All right. Let's jump into some news.
All right.
This week's news headlines.
So the first one comes from our friends at the Explosion Network. This is by Dylan Blight. And the article reads, Katana Zero refused classification in Australia and New Zealand. Dylan says, Devolver Digital's upcoming Katana Zero, which was due to come out on PC and Nintendo Switch this Friday, which was last Friday when you're listening to this, has been refused classification in Australia and New Zealand. Devolver Digital posted the news on their official Twitter account stating, Heads up, folks in Australia and New Zealand, Katana Zero has a classification refused rating and therefore will not be released on Nintendo Switch in Australia and New Zealand on Thursday. Our team is resubmitting in hopes to get that changed and we'll keep you posted with news. Devolver Digital is not new to having their games refused classification or straight up banned in Australia in the past. See Hotline Miami 2. But since Katana Zero does not feature any heavy drug use, the bane of the review board, it'll be interesting to see if the game will be allowed a classification in Australia and New Zealand. It's disappointing to say the least whenever this happens. So this was a really frustrating one because some games that come up, you can be like, you can see the link. You can see like Hotline Miami. You can see, oh yeah, drugs. Yeah. You don't.
Yeah, Australia's already got a drug problem. We don't need any more influences. Yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah, it can be like, oh yeah, but at the end of the day, years ago, we fought for the R rating in video games here in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, we really needed it. Call of Duty was still coming out at an MA 15 plus rating, so anyone who's 15 and over can play Call of Duty, which was pretty silly, even though...
And World at War was one of their goriest games.
Even though, like, back in the day... Well, not back in the day. It's not that long ago. It feels like a long time ago. Because of... Well, I guess we were teenagers then.
It was back in a day.
It was definitely a day.
Yep.
But it's just really frustrating to see. Like, we got that the 18 plus rating here in Australia. We thought the war was over. It was far from over, and we're still fighting it today. And even with indie games such as Katana Zero, which Nintendo, which is a very family-friendly facing company, Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to the Switch, and in their presentation, they didn't show any gore or anything. But in their indie direct, they shown a lot of Katana Zero, and that was one of the games they highlighted very heavily in their thing. But here in Australia, it's too bad to even release, at least on the initial submission.
Yeah.
So they're resubmitting, and hopefully they'll come around and we'll get to play it here in Australia. But
it's a barrel pick. They get a bucket. They put a bunch of games in the list. They go, which one are we going to ban today to make a point? And they pick one out, and it was Katana Zero, which really did not look that bad when you hold a candle to like Mortal Kombat 11.
Even, yeah.
Honestly, it's literally one of the most violent video game series in history, has been ever since its first inception. And this one is no different.
No.
So, where's the line drawn here? It doesn't feel like there is one. It just feels like they're just like, nah, don't want it.
Yeah, just for clarification for people who don't know what Katana Zero is, basically you're playing as a ninja who has a katana, and each level you're trying to get through without making any mistakes. You know, you're going through as a ninja, you're cutting up people, you're going through, and you've got to get it in the perfect run. If you stuff up, you get rewinded back to the start, and you do the run again.
Think Meat Boy with a sword.
Yeah,
there you go.
And like, okay, there's violence there. Well, I haven't played the game, so who knows? There might be drug references left, right, not like, I don't know. I don't think there is.
No.
But regardless of what there is, like there's been a fair few things on Steam which has been like, you know, murder simulator and like just like disgusting things that people don't need in their lives.
Yeah.
Like whatever topic, like it was in the news maybe a month ago. It was called something along the lines of rape simulator.
Oh.
Like it just stuff like that. Don't need it. That can be banned.
Yeah.
But like stuff like Katana Zero, made by an indie developer, obviously like a medium publisher, like Devolver Digital, is happy to publish it. It's a game where you're a ninja and it's got a fair bit of violence in it. If Australia sees it as a problem, like we don't need kids playing this, that is exactly what they have the R18 plus rating for.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it's there for. Put it there, so if you're on your Nintendo Switch, because it's a download only game unless they do like a limited release for it,
like
physically
run.
Yeah. Then if the parents like, I don't want kids playing this, then they'll have their parental controls all set up and they won't be able to purchase it.
Yep.
And it's that easy.
Yep.
Like for them to say this is too violent and Drew and Bryce, mid-20s, you can't play it because it's too violent for you. Like, what are you kidding? I just want to play my ninja game.
It really makes me wonder where the hell they get this shit from. To be honest, like how do you get to that point where it's just like, we fought this long for the R18 rating and then we can't even get games that fit that category approved in Australia? Then what do we have the rating for?
It would have been a big shock to Devolver as well, because I was getting emails from Devolver saying,
hey, you want a code?
Yeah, they said like they asked if I was interested in the code, and they said, the Australian codes won't be until day of release. I'm like, that's fine, that's awesome, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
And and this news came out, and obviously the guys working with Devolver weren't aware that this could happen. I don't think they even thought this could have happened.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you might have some games where it's like, oh, this is pushing it, and you might put it towards them, like, oh, then you get it back. Yeah, fair enough. Like, we were kind of expecting it, and we needed to make some changes, but this one's a real head scratcher when it happened for me.
Yeah. No, I'm still scratching my head.
Yeah,
no kidding. I don't know why we even bothered fighting if this is all it's going to be every friggin' time. It just needs to change. There's so much worse out there, really, and of all the things, this.
Yes, very frustrating. But if it comes back and it's doesn't get approved again and it doesn't get released on the Australian stores, Steam and Nintendo Switch are both region free.
Yep. So
you'll be able to get it on a European account, American account, whatever you desire. So
it's just annoying that you have to separate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a few of our friends bring up the argument as well, like movies, music, they do not have this problem. No. It's just something that the people on this board have with video games. Yep. They treat them differently because they're interactive.
Yeah.
Which you can see that, because like if you're playing a horror game, you can be sucked into it a lot more than a horror movie, for example, because you're placed there. So maybe they say like, oh, you're going to want to cut people up when you're playing this game.
Oh, I just like...
I don't know.
When you say stuff like that, I just think of like Dead by Daylight. Like, shit like Dead by Daylight gets through, but why does a 2D indie game not? Dead by Daylight's like, hey, look, you're going to hang people up on hooks. Literally strap them to a meat hook and make them suffer and scream in writhe and pain. And
Yeah, I would love to sit like one of these guys down, like whoever's in charge, whatever at the ratings board or the classification board, to be like, what is your process of going through these games? And instead of like we can sit here as gamers on a podcast and just show our displeasure of it, but I would like to find out exactly why. Like these random games seem to get just disapproved. Yeah. Because back in the day, they could have easily said we don't have an R18 plus, so anything with people dying in it won't be released in Australia. So Call of Duty, any AAA game at that point really, wouldn't be out in Australia if they meant what they said.
Yeah.
But since those games were too big to not bring to Australia, they just put under the the money.
It comes down.
Bryce
to money.
is doing the money symbol with his hands, the gesture. Yeah.
Comes down to money.
Yeah.
In the end.
So yeah, frustrating. I was actually looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
But we might hopefully just have a little bit more of a wait here in Australia.
We'll see.
Next up, Bryce, have you seen this? The Xbox One S Xbox One all digital edition has been officially announced.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either because I've just got my 1S, but that's okay.
I get what they're trying to do with the all digital, and that's great. But removing the disc drive for maybe a $50 price drop is probably not worth the bother.
No. So I'll read Shannon's article from Press Start. After months and months of speculation, Microsoft has revealed the Xbox One S all digital edition. The console looks shockingly similar to the Xbox One S. But there's no disc drive. Aside from that, it seems to be very similar. Whilst we don't have a release date in Australia, the Xbox One S All Digital Edition comes out on May 7th in the US. Microsoft hasn't given a local price yet, but it's going to be priced at $250 US in America. It'll come bundled with Forza 3, Sea of Thieves, and Minecraft. So it's only a $50 price difference. I was hoping it was going to be a bit more of a drop, just for the fact that losing that disc drive, it's like, okay, I don't buy my games from the shop. I download them all because it's just a Games Pass machine. But it loses the functionality of the Blu-ray player, just like as a media player. Like it loses a fair bit, more than you would think, just without having that disc drive.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, if I was in the market for a console to hook up to my TV, I'd be like, I'll pay the extra $50. It's fine. Just give me. I want to be able to play my discs, or have the option. Even if you buy all your games digitally, and you're like, hey,
it's not even really an upgrade option in general.
No,
at all.
It could be a great option for like I just got my second Xbox One just for my like games room.
Yeah,
I got a Minecraft Xbox One because I'm not a big Minecraft fan. But Target.com actually was clearing out the Minecraft consoles for $300.
Yeah.
Whereas usually over here it's what are they? They're $400. The Xbox, $400. So it was a good deal, and it will have good resale value.
Yeah.
So, but like, because I was actually thinking when the rumors were coming out for this, like maybe I should wait for it because it might be $200 Australian, and that would be a good deal. Just a box, Game Pass, and you're set. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you wouldn't be a big advocate for going and buying one of these?
No way. No. The disc drive, not having a disc drive kind of ruins it. Honest opinion, really.
Yeah. You have to get it at the right price. I think. So if the Xbox One S, like the normal one, goes on sale for a price, this has to be a certain percentage under that as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So
without a doubt.
So it'll always be cheaper than this, even if the normal one does go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I also find it interesting that it ships with Forza Horizon 3. Like, I feel like that's a way to be like, all right, it's because the third one isn't on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's been like, all right, you really enjoy this car game, but you want the next one, and that's sort of their way to push you towards Game Pass.
Yeah,
because these other games, Minecraft just recently become available on the service, and Sea of Thieves launched on there.
Yeah.
Early last year. So, yeah. On paper, it seems like a good idea, but in fruition, no, not really.
No, not really. No.
Yeah. All right. Also in Xbox news, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate will combine Game Pass and Xbox Live for cheaper. So this is also from Press Start by Shannon. Microsoft announced on the latest episode of Inside Xbox that Game Pass Ultimate will merge Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold. The service will cost $16 Australian per month, which is definitely better than the $20 a month that gamers were paying for both of these services separately. If you're paying for both of these services, you'll be able to merge them. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is launching later this year, but Xbox insiders will get to try it out in the next few days.
Right.
So this is great. This is pretty. This needed to happen just to make it easier for people to get into the ecosystem.
I wanted this.
So did I. Yeah.
You know, I'll be glad to pick it up when it's there. Because what is it, like $15?
16. So it's 15.
Yeah, 16.
$15.95. I just rounded it up. But yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of a case of like, do I pay 10 and 10 or do I pay 16?
Because
16.
Not a bad deal at all. So $16 a month.
Yeah.
You're getting 100 plus games just to
play.
Put your fingers into trying to, I want that one and that one. And you're also getting free games with gold.
Yep.
Which is 4 games a month as well.
Yep.
Both on 360 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And that varies month to month. Some months you might get bloody Adventure Time, the game. Other times you might get a Fallout game.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know.
You never know.
But yeah, this is going to make it easier for me anyway, because like the way you manage your subscriptions at the moment on the Xbox, it's kind of a pain.
It is.
You go to services and like you see it's got like the EA one, Xbox Live Gold, like it's sort of all a mess.
Yeah, it is.
Not that we get the EA one around here. We don't do that.
No.
No, we don't do that around here. But yeah, I'm excited for that. So that's just a nice little thing Xbox are doing to make it easier and to get more of our money eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Moving on to PlayStation stuff. So a few days ago, PlayStation announced, didn't announce, but they did an interview with Wire. Oh, The Wire.
The Wire.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're all pretty much from Press Start because it's Australian based. So you know, I enjoy Press Start. You know. So the article reads: the first PlayStation 5 details have been officially confirmed, and it looks to be releasing in 2020. And to all the people that are like, "Oh, it's releasing this year," that's pretty pretty hopeful. Yeah. But they've put down dot points of basically what came out of this interview from The Wire. If you want to read the full thing, go over to The Wire, check it out. It's an interview with Mark Cerny, the architect of the PlayStation.
Yep.
And very smart man. Yep. Also creator of Knack. So, so you can be left with whatever you want to know out of that. So here are the key points of the PlayStation 5. It's not releasing in 2019, as we stated before.
Cool.
Not obvious. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's been in development 4 years so far. Backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games, which is, I would have been shocked if it wasn't, but it's good to know that it is.
Yep.
It's got 8 cores of AMD Zen 2. That doesn't mean anything to me. Might to you. You just build a PC. You know your computer parts. Does that mean anything to you? Do you know what a Zen 2 is? AMD Zen 2.
I'm not a big AMD person, so it's really hard.
You use your NVIDIA.
Oh, yeah.
You use your NVIDIA and Nintendo Switch and your...
Intel. Yeah.
Yes. Ray tracing support with GPU. Extremely fast high-end SSD storage, which is good.
Good.
Custom AMD unit for 3D audio. Also aided for ray tracing, a big update. Extremely fast, high-end custom SSD storage, faster than any solution currently available for PC. And they actually discussed this too. Like they're talking about the SSDs and the fact that it's like, all right, so it makes loading faster. And what he did is he brought up Spider-Man running on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and he fast traveled. It took about 15 seconds to get from one location to the next. Then he brought up Spider-Man running on the next generation dev kit, and it took 1 second.
Nice.
To load. And he says it, according to Mark Cerny, it's something it's not just an SSD hard drive placed in a PlayStation console to make it faster. It's something they've come up with to actually try and
break the mold.
Thing.
Yeah.
And according to Jason Schreier, a tweet I saw, a lot of the rumblings around GDC, around the PlayStation 5, was that they'll the marketing was going to be based around no load times.
Okay. Yep.
Which is interesting because it's it might be PlayStation really pushing the gamer message again. What they did with the PlayStation 4, really going for for the players type of thing, and because now they've gone sort of real casual. Like obviously they're trying to spread their wings out. Like they've got the hardcore gamer pretty well gotten now, so they'll be going back to that type of thing. Where are we up to? Technically supports 8K, but Sony said that Spider-Man load speed improvements, 15 seconds down to actually 0.8 seconds on a 4K screen. So it's going to support 8K, but it's not what they're aiming for. But
no, they're going for 4K. Yep.
Because at the moment the PlayStation 4 Pro it does 4K, but it has to go down to 30 frames, and new virtual reality platform strongly hinted at, but also supports the current PlayStation VR headset.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And it does still have physical media, which is also great.
Yes.
Because how could they not just yet?
Yeah.
I know it's going to go there eventually.
Yeah.
Which is sad for us country bumpkins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but,
until internet's fixed, like that's the thing. Until internet's fixed all around the world, so everybody can access it, they're going to lose a profit off of going all digital. So
yeah. So I'm not too worried. It's not the speeds; it's just the options. Because if you go and buy something on the PlayStation Store, it's going to be like God of War comes out, it's $100.
Yep.
You go to the shop, it's probably 70 here in Australia. Like the big retailers are really competitive with dropping prices.
Yeah.
Whereas I know in America it might not be so much the case. You might get like stuff for $50, which is $10 off of the full price. But here in Australia it's really aggressive because the retail price is really high to start off with anyway.
It is, yeah.
But with all this, Bryce, are you excited for PlayStation 5? Is this something you...
I mean, I'm not going to get excited about anybody talking about anything until I see some kind of proof. That's kind of like where I'm at. That unfortunately is the way you have to treat some of these things, especially nowadays. You can be promised all the things in the world in the game industry and get jack shit back for it. So while the premise is interesting, it's a wait and see for me before I get any kind of excited. If you have ever listened to our show before, I'm very skeptical about PlayStation after the way I've been treated in the past.
Yeah, so that was pretty much from the Fortnite fiasco where they locked you out of...
They locked me out of my account.
Yeah, for logging into their service, yeah.
Not that I give too much of a shit about it anymore, but it's the premise.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to do the cross-play, like, in full retrospect. Like, just want them to do cross-play. Finally bring all this together. Get people working together. See what happens. Go, I want the greed to stop, and I know that Xbox was a problem with this in the past, and I'm glad that they've changed their ways, but, now it's Sony's turn to stop with the greed. Get that cross-play going, let people enjoy the console of their choice, but still be able to play with people who have a console of their choice. It's time to clear that off the board. It's not going to influence, like, bugger all people's choice in console at the end of the day. So,
like, just saying this, I'm like, okay, it's a next generation console, all right.
Yeah,
it's got higher specs, it's got this and that. Like stuff like stuff with like the 3D audio and stuff like that. That sounds cool, but the Xbox One X is already doing that.
Yeah.
So like a bit of this stuff, the X is already doing. Like I think it has a solid state drive, the X.
Solid state drive, yeah.
It does, yeah. So like stuff like that, like I know it's not the custom stuff they're talking about, which makes it just drastically faster. But a few of these things, like Xbox, are already doing in their revision of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this because I'm a big PlayStation fan as well. Sort of the stuff in recent times, like even though they've been making some of the best games they've ever made recently,
yeah,
just the sort of attitude they've had towards like I guess, their user base and other platforms' user bases.
Yeah.
It put me off a bit. Because I sort of, to be honest, I miss the Sony from PlayStation 3 and Vita, where they were just like, let's make artistic, fun, beautiful games, and they were putting like money into stuff like sound shapes and all like just crazy games. Where now it's like very much like we've found their formula. It's big, open, character-driven, cinematic video games. You know, after the success Naughty Dog's seen with Uncharted and The Last of Us, and they don't seem to be straying too much from that.
No, yeah.
Like we're seeing from Media Molecule, they've released the beta for Dreams on the 16th a few days ago.
Yep.
And that's sort of the last bit from like that era of Sony.
Yeah.
Because it's like just creative, and it probably won't sell that well. That's also the most sad thing about it.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, I need to go and probably buy that beta to support them, because I'm quite interested in that Dreams beta. It looks so cool, what people come up with.
I haven't actually looked much into it. So
Yeah, it's
something to do later.
It's going to be a $60 game in Australia. Oh, it might be a bit more. I think it's still going to be like a full price game in Australia, but if you get into the beta, you get the game for half price, and you get obviously the update to the game once it's a fully fledged game.
Right.
So that'd be cool. It's like an early access, standard thing.
Yep.
On Steam. So cool.
Fair enough.
Got another little bit of PlayStation news. So this is from Press Start again. I'm going to stop saying Press Start. They're all Press Start. The Last of Us 2's final scene has been shot. The director, Neil Druckmann, has just put a little thing on Twitter saying, just shot this scene. So, and it just says the end, and it says cut to black on a piece of paper. So it's pretty obvious that the game isn't coming out this year. I know a lot of people late last year were like, Last of Us 2019, maybe a fall game, maybe a summer game, whatever it might be.
It'll probably end up being exactly what happened with the PlayStation 3 and the PS4. It'll end up coming out on PS4, but then it'll be remastered for PS5.
Well, it was the original Last of Us came out at the very end of the PlayStation 3's life. It was the swan song for the system.
Yeah.
Then it got remastered a couple of months into the PlayStation 4's
life.
Yeah. Which is fair enough, because like a lot of people wouldn't have played it on PS3 because...
That's what's going to happen with this game in PS4 and PS5.
Well...
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if it like gets released in a box that says PS5, because the PS5 will be able to play this game. It's just whether it comes out saying this is for PS5.
They'll do an enhanced edition of some kind.
Yeah. It's something similar to what the past few Zelda games have been on Nintendo platforms as well, where Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U and Switch at the same time, and you can pick which one you want. Yeah. And if you pick the Wii U one, you're stuck playing it on Wii U.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Yep. I'll just read the article. So Neil Druckmann revealed on Twitter that the team had shot the final scene. This must mean that the bulk of the motion capture work has been completed, but it doesn't really tell us a lot about the actual game. It's been long assumed that The Last of Us 2 will probably be a PlayStation 5 launch title. This is affirmed by the fact Sony said that the PS5 wouldn't release in 2019, prompting us to believe that it will come out in 2020. So, yeah. Yep. Look forward to that. It's one of those games where it's like, yes, when it comes out, I'll buy it. I don't need a trailer. I don't really need much for it. Yep. I know you weren't a big fan of the first game.
Just the gameplay aspect, I think, gameplay wasn't much for me.
You played a lot of zombie games that generation. You're sort of like...
Yeah. And like, the story was touching to begin with, but the gameplay kind of droned on me. It was either like be really quiet and be stealthy about it, or go loud and then put yourself at massive risk. So yeah, it's kind of just like
Oh well, like listeners of this show know Salim hasn't like really touched it either, so it's okay. You're not the only one on this podcast that hasn't played it. I know Jono came on here giving him a hard time once, and it's like,
oh well, Jono's had to give me a hard time. So.
Yeah. Well, Jono, give Bryce a hard time, please. No. At IV Revan.
No. Anyway, moving on.
This is something we talked about in the House of Mario, Bryce. So this is about the mysterious Retro Studios artwork.
Right. Cool.
So our Lord and Savior,
Reggie
Fils-Aimé, has officially retired from Nintendo, and he's made his Twitter account at Reggie, which obviously means he's got some powerful friends at Twitter, or just no one got the Reggie Twitter handle. Either way, he's been posting pictures of him packing up his office and getting gifts and that from his his friends and all that from the video games industry. And one interesting one that come up was an artwork from Retro Studios with the characters from their past games, so the Donkey Kong, Metroid, and those franchises. And he's put up a picture on Twitter where it says, "Thank you for playing." It's got Reggie Fils-Aimé there, and there's a Mario statue in front of the poster, which is covering up a character which is unfamiliar to us. So
it's just a robotic arm.
All you can see is a robotic arm and like a little bit of what might be a helmet or a head or something standing next to Samus. And this has brought up a bit of speculation, being like, all right, is this a new character from one of the new Retro Studios games over at Nintendo? So people are like, is this a new IP? Is this a character from maybe Metroid Prime 4? Or could it just be some other Metroid character or a Donkey Kong character just covered up and it looks different?
Could be.
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah.
But speculation is fun, Bryce. So
well,
do you feel like they'll be trying to set up a tease or something in this?
I mean, look, I don't know how to feel about it at the moment with how retro is. They're very here nor there. You never know when they're going to actually say something about a project they're working on. I guess this might be a hint at something, but there's nothing to say that it's an original IP or anything like that as well. It could just be a character from a current game, or you know, something that we're completely oversighting, and it's just like, oh, that's like Mighty Number 9 or some shit. Like, I don't know. Wait and see. I don't think we should read too much into it right now, but possibly is technically a new IP. We'll see as time goes on.
I think it will be a character we're not familiar with. I don't think it will be from Metroid Prime 4, just for the fact that they haven't had that game in their wheelhouse for that long.
No.
Like, they might have had it even a month before the announcement got made to the public.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would have had the time to be like, all right, let's get the idea, let's get the new characters, let's get all this down.
Yeah.
But we definitely, I think it will be a new IP, maybe something they started working on after Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Tropical Froth. Oh, they make good smoothies, Donkey Kong, I reckon, with that Tropical Freeze. Sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds like a good smoothie.
Good smoothie.
Yeah. But I could just imagine being like, Reggie sent this thing, which it's like really nicely framed. It's got all the autographs from all the people that work at the company, and nice artwork with the characters they've worked with. And I like you would assume Reggie is very familiar with this character. They've been working on probably the game with this character in for 2-3 years at this point.
Yeah.
So he's very familiar with it, and he's got it in his office or whatever. And he's like, all right, I'm going to put this on Twitter, but fuck, I'll be in trouble if I show this character. So he's just like,
here's a trophy.
Slid this trophy in front of it. And he probably, like, by this point, Reggie would 100% know what the Nintendo community's like, or the gaming community in general is like. Just like, they see something, they just have to dig every little grain out of it until they get some information.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see once this game gets announced, if he just like gets it and slides it out the way. It's like, here's the full art. It's kind of similar to what they're doing in Smash Bros. Ultimate when a new character comes up. They go woof, woof, and they show up in that big artwork of all the characters.
The poster.
Yeah. And Bryce, we'll finish up on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate stuff that's come out lately.
Yep.
So, what day was it? It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday last week, when you guys are listening to this, that Nintendo just dropped a mini Nintendo Direct outlining the 3.0 update for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, as well as all the details about the new character Joker from Persona 5. And he's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and the new stuff 3.0 brings is really quite cool too.
Yep. A lot of little things.
Yeah. We've got some problems with like a few of the things that were introduced, but we'll go into that.
Yep.
Bryce, what do you think of the new character?
Okay, so I suppose we'll just discuss the character in stage first. So, Character, Joker, kind of comes from the foundations of a couple of old characters in terms of his moveset, but it does really feel like the character Joker from Persona 5. Feels like they sort of fleshed him out really well. His end screen is great. For example, his smash attack, his final smash, is an all-out attack from Persona 5. You know, it all sort of works out really nicely. If you do a final smash and end the game with that final smash, it will actually just go from the poster to the reward screen like it does in Persona 5.
Yeah, so that's cool how they're
like all the finer details are great. They're really good.
And that's what Smash Bros is best at. Just all the finer details. Like that's one thing. Like I'm going to bring up PlayStation All Stars. Like,
oh god,
people had their problems with that game, but the thing that was shown the most was just like the small things weren't there.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you think of like the Joker coming to Super Smash Brothers, you think about, oh yeah, the character's going to be there. He's going to be fighting Mario. Cool. But you don't think about like his transitions into like his victory screen and everything. Like they just like nail all of that and just pull it straight from the game and just make it all feel so seamless and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stage though is a little bland. There's lots of neat little Persona 5 references in it, but the background is just like the map of mementos from Persona 5. So it's kind of bland and there's not a lot going on back there, and it kind of just looks like a pause screen to me because I'm a big fan of Persona 5, so it's just kind of like, yeah, I felt like they could have done more with it. Maybe, you know, done like a Shibuya that transitions from, you know, normal Shibuya to sort of mementos like Shibuya sort of thing. That'd be really great. I thought that's probably what they would have done, but they didn't end up doing that, so that kind of sucks. But the music selection's great. They've got Mii costumes for you and
the protagonist from the previous Persona
from
games.
P3, yeah,
as well as Tails and Knuckles, which is
and yeah, fair warning if you're gonna buy the pass, the Mii costumes don't come part of it.
Yeah.
They're separate buys, so they're only cheap, but if you're really into Mii fighters, then that's your jib, then fantastic. But for me, who doesn't really give a shit, I'll pass.
The Knuckles character costume looks terrifying.
Yeah, it's not good.
Especially like they're animals. They look like they've been skinned.
Yeah.
And they're just like, the man's like, I'm wearing an animal. I killed this man.
Then they added in a DLC Spirits board. So if you know anything about Spirits and Smash Bros. Ultimate, they have a limited time board where you can challenge spirits that sort of come off the timer and swap every now and then. They've got a DLC Spirits board where it's only DLC spirits. So they did that with Persona characters in it, obviously, and their little spirit fights. So you can earn your spirits from that. That was cool. I'll let Drew talk about Stage Builder, which was
yeah. So they added the Stage Builder, which was a feature I really missed because I quite enjoyed it on the Wii U Super Smash Bros. And what they've done with it is they've the fact that you can like freely draw on the touchscreen and sort of make things in the background is really cool. Mm-hmm. There's a Twitter account called I forgot the exact name of it, but it's like, can you pat the dog? And it goes through games where you can pat the dog or you can't pat the dog.
Yep.
And they put out a tweet today saying, thanks to the new Stage Builder mode, you can now pat the dog in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And how they did that is they put like a picture of a dog in the background, and in the foreground is just like a hand rotating around its head. so you can pat the dog in Super Smash Bros. So this feature allows you to pat the dog, which is a great inclusion to the game. Very important.
So good.
But one of the reasons I loved the Stage Builder mode the most is because you come up with really wacky ideas for matches. One of the big ones people were playing in the Wii U version was Smashball, which is basically basketball. You've got to like hit each other into cannons, which are facing down, and that's basically like doing slam dunks.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun to do, and but the actual stages looked like a basketball court, which was really cool. And one which I come up with a friend of ours was actually like you do like a big map. You do like little tiny platforms at the bottom just so you can spawn on, and then you do a special match where you can put jetpacks on and just fly around. And it was really fun, and I was like, I really want to do this in Smash Ultimate because obviously it's the game we're playing now. The Wii U's, not in my pocket as well. And so I made my stage. I went to Special Smash. And I went to go and play it, but it didn't allow me to actually play Special Smash with those settings on custom maps. Which I'm like, oh my god, it just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gone around the Smash World app or anything to actually look into like maps to download and that. I'll be doing that probably later on.
Yep.
But just the fact I can't do that, because I was looking forward to just like doing really weird things, like getting funny with it, like doing special rules and doing special maps to cater for that.
Yeah.
That was why I really enjoyed it. And like other things like you sent me the link for the PewDiePie chair.
Yeah, it's great. Somebody made a PewDiePie chair. It's like really good.
Can it do this? Yeah.
It says T-Bad up the top.
So I quite enjoy it, but
yeah, it needs tweaks.
Like that seems like a bit of an overlook, just from my perspective. I don't think they would have been like, oh no, we don't want Special Smash on.
No, yeah,
custom
definitely
maps.
An overlook. Yeah. The only other thing is the Smash World app itself, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's good for sharing content, and in my honest opinion, the services are probably a little bit better than what the Splatoon ones are, because sharing content is obviously something that's been restricted from Smash up until now. So it's all good. Like, you can upload your replays and your game modes or your stages or screenshots or a bit of everything. But it has a few glaring issues. One of them being uploading replays seems to upload to them, then they upload to YouTube, and then it gets put on the app.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a big workaround. I think for about a minute and a half video, it took me half an hour to 45 minutes to get up there. That could be because of partial server congestion as well, so I can't really talk too much about that. But everything else when it comes to content sharing seems to work okay. You've got your own profile. You can view all your stuff on your own individuality. That's great. The other issue was that, and you brought this up earlier, but somebody, who was it on Twitter?
Miguel from Castle Pixel, who does Blossom Tales. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The writer on Blossom Tales.
So the writer of Blossom Tales, he doesn't have the Challenges Pass, and he went to check the Smash World, and he tried to find videos on Joker, but because he hasn't actually purchased a DLC pack, he couldn't.
Yeah,
he literally couldn't view videos.
It came up with a message saying you don't own this content, so you can't view the video.
Well, yeah.
Which is just ridiculous, because it's like it's kind of like being like, I want to buy this video game, I'm going to look at a review. Then YouTube comes up saying, you don't own this game, you can't watch the video.
Yeah.
It's like, Nintendo, aren't you trying to share the videos to entice people to buy the character? It's ass backwards.
It is backwards.
I think they missed the point of the social sharing.
Yeah.
To push their product, really.
Well, I mean, you can still share it on Facebook or Twitter, and then people can view it from there. But like having that actual Smash World app was kind of the point of like, and that's the thing. Nobody's using the goddamn app unless they're using it for Splatoon with the special shop or for Smash content. Just leave it all unlocked,
Yeah.
There's bugger all you can do about it.
Just seem weird to me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and I hope they fix it. But like the 3.0 update itself is really nice. They just need to fix some stuff up, and I think that's what it comes down to. Yeah,
it's a good update. We got the stage builder, we got the fundamentals there. Hopefully, a few of those things we talked about get ironed out. Maybe they'll add some more stuff.
Yeah,
because that was a glaring mode just missing.
Oh yeah,
because it was in Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii. It was on the Smash Bros for Wii U. On the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it was missing from the Ultimate Smash Bros, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
As it was named to that, but
yeah. Oh
well, Bryce, that brings us to the end of the news and the end of the show. Anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
You can follow me at IVRevan on Twitter. That's pretty much it for me, I think, at the moment.
Yep. And you can follow me on pretty much all social platforms at iDruby. And we'd just like to thank Brendan, Salim, and Ali for allowing us to take over the show this week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It went by really quick.
It absolutely did.
Just going through those news stories and that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's what we've been talking about most of the day.
Yeah. And just thank you for allowing us to join the 8-Bit Collective and do all these things with you. Really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to doing things in the future. Words aren't coming to my head.
No,
and they're not coming out of my mouth.
No.
And of course, if you'd like to listen to more of our stuff, Nintendo related chatter, we can be found at the House of Mario on iTunes, Spotify platform,
Twitter,
Facebook,
everywhere.
Not Instagram, because I don't really want to make an Instagram, but
no.
But yeah,
bit of everywhere.
Anyway, guys, this has been episode 148 of the Hungry Gamers podcast. Please be sure to rate and subscribe on your platform of choice, because it keeps the emotional lights on in our hearts, and Brendan's, because Brendan's a
emotional boy.
Emotional boy. Yeah, he's emotional. He's a nice lad, Brendan. I've been Drew. You can find me at iDrewby, and this has been Bryce. You can find him at IVRevan. Until next week, 8-Bit Nation, much love. Stay hungry.
Stay hungry, baby.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.